Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There's something about love that sparkles and shines. There's something about love that sparkles and shines in our minds, especially our children this time of year, but also the children in us, right?
Yes.
There's something about love that makes us smarter. There's Bella liked that one. There's something about love that makes us brighter and more awake. Remember when you first fell in love? That's a good memory. There's something about love that makes us more alive. And this really fits the Christmas story because there's a deep connection between our hearts and our love and our mind and our thinking and our consciousness. There's something about love that brightens us up. In the Christmas story, love came down. Love came down and became one of us and entered into our world where we were dark, where we were lost. Love came down and love brought a light in the sky and a light in us, a light in our minds. And so what I want to do to bring this home right to where we are is I need a volunteer. But I need a volunteer. Hopefully it would be a young person. But if you don't want to, I'll take a big young person. So are there any kids? Is there a
young person?
Oh, you're not moving. You're hurting. Well, you're twinkly though. Is there anyone that wants to? These two characters here. Come here. I can take two of you. Okay. So just stand right here. All right, I'm just going to put the word which I love to hold when I'm preaching, but I'm going to put it down. Okay, this won't hurt you. It's not an electrical shock.
Chapter. That's your Christmas
So,
present.
thankfully, this is nice and long. I thought maybe we would have two beautiful souls who would. Bring your heads together. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I don't like this.
It's okay. It's okay. Oops, sorry.
Twist your mind.
Definitely not.
I'm not going to squish you. I already hurt you, didn't I?
Did you wet the sponge?
Oh, this worked better on my head. Okay, I'm coming around here. Is it on your heads?
No.
It's
on my neck.
Zapper.
Put her hair up.
No.
Okay. Okay. So what I want you to do, because I want you to leave this experience today with a visual, because we are not only God's children, we are human animals, aren't we? And sometimes we remember things. Sometimes we remember things that are visual. So I want you all to tell Bree and Brian that you love them.
Love you.
Now,
Good.
okay, now I want you to tell them. I want you to tell them that that God is with them always. Can you say it together?
God is with you always.
Now, what I want you to hear, and I want you to see, Brian says I'll never come back to church. What I want you to hear is that whenever love is shared or received, given or received, we light up. Is it staying on you, Brian?
Yeah. Sorry, I just got an idea.
He says hurry up.
I got an idea.
He said the whole point of what I'm trying to show you, which is that whenever love is given or received, our minds light up. And when we feel alone, what happens when we feel that love is going away or love is gone? There's no light. We are able to think when we feel alone. Would you ever go to school, kids, when you feel alone and you feel like nobody understands, but you still go to school and you learn math and science and you learn reading and writing? But only when we say, I love you.
Whoa.
I thank you so much. You are done. You have earned your wings. And I want you to take this home with you. And I want you to remember that Christ is your light.
This is proof that your guys' brain does work.
So the connection between our hearts and the love that we feel and that we give literally lights up our thinking minds. And so if we feel loveless at Christmas or any time in the year, we feel that we don't have any love or we don't have anybody to love, we get dull.
Whoa.
Literally. And we are not interested in learning new things. Anybody get depressed when you think you don't have love or you won't have love? Sometimes you feel a little down. Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you for your honesty. Sometimes we feel that love is far away. And then we don't really find interest in anything. We just want to curl up in our room under a blanket. Anybody have those kind of days? Yeah. That's called depression. Sometimes it's just taking a little break and recouping. But love and mind and thinking and ideas are very closely connected. Right before baby Jesus was born, the world was in a very deep darkness. And the people who were in rule at that time were cruel. Ooh, we could make a rap song. I keep saying that. But those people who were rulers were cruel. The people themselves were cruel to each other. And this was thought to be normal. This was thought to be expected. This was a time where people lost faith in a loving God. We take even that for granted, that we believe in a loving God. At that time, before Jesus was born, people didn't even think that God was loving. At that time, their minds were closed. They weren't interested in science. They weren't interested in God. They were closed. And the worst aspect of that dark time before Jesus was born, and all of this is history. This is history you can study in school. That human life was worthless. That anyone that came across the path of a cruel ruler could be taken down without even a reason. In fact, they rejoiced when it happened without a reason. This is history. So we come now to a point where Christ is born at a very dark time. And in every age in history, there are a few that see. God makes it so that in every age in history, in every generation, there are a few that see the light, that see that love is returning, that times will get better. Does it sound familiar? So these few in the Christmas story were who? Who was it that saw that love was coming? The three wise men. They saw that love was coming. And what was their sign? The star. Look at this beauty. The star that shone in the star. And what we learned in our youth group movie last night was that from the beginning of time in science, everything had to come together in the universe in order for the two stars, the brightest and the biggest two stars, to come together to make one star. Everything had to come together in a perfect order since the creation of Earth and the galaxies, and had to happen exactly the way that it did in order for the wise men to see the star right where it was. It appeared to stop. And that was the sign from the three wise men who studied ancient teachings most of their life, and they came to this point and they read the skies and they said, this is it. This is where the Messiah will be born and when the Messiah will be born. And why did they study all those years knowing that they would see a star when it was time? Because they loved God. They studied all these teachings because they loved God. And it was their love that made them search. The searching is a big part of this story. It was their love for God that made them search. So all your life, you may be searching for something or someone. You may be searching for faith, for all I know, deep within the recesses of your heart and mind. All your life we search. The searching is a part of the loving. And it's the loving that helps us to see the signs. So again, our love and our minds are so closely connected. So this Christmas, may your love for God and for the people around you help you to see signs of his holy presence, of that bright star in your mind that guides you. May God elevate your loving this Christmas. Amen.
Amen.